Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Friendgame. The Friendgame is a new podcast-style web talk show where me and pretty much anyone I can convince can come into this and talk about video games, life, whatever we find for the next topic. Joining me today are three unlucky fellows, guardians, that play Destiny with me. Joining me is Rev21. Say hello, Rev.
Hello. Hello.
We got Valco in here. Say hello.
How's it going, guys?
That's Valco. And the Fiddler. The Fiddler.
Hello. Yep, the Fiddler.
Yeah, the Fiddler actually goes by another name. Which one did you want to tell us what your other name was before you?
We could go by Sparkle Farts. That's
Sparkle Farts, or the Fiddler. So yeah, we're going to talk about different topics on this show. I'm not sure of the frequency just yet, but we will begin to just uncover new things. The first one we're going to talk about is a game we all love to play, or some of us like to play. I don't know if they love it anymore. It's Destiny 2, right? You guys, what do you guys think about the game so far?
I'm loving it now. It's much
okay.
better.
Loving it now.
Yeah, definitely. Rocky start there for a little bit, but
yeah, I
it
agree.
was pretty rough.
that being said, did we not still all play it?
That's true. I gotta be honest. I struggled through like the Curse of Osiris. I was there hardcore. What was the other one? The Warmind. Like it was kind of like a big letdown, but I was still playing every once in a while. I actually will take the credit for keeping Rev in the game because I pretty much dragged him back because I had no one to play with.
Oh, I'll give you credit. You did. You did.
It's my fault.
You twisted my arm.
My fault. He's here.
You know what? I'm happy you did because I'm really enjoying the game now.
Yeah, me too.
I hated you for about 3 weeks, so
yeah, it's okay. That's all in the past, man. Just let it go. Just let it be.
I'd let it go.
Let it be. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here, guys. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. I actually sent the guys these questions ahead of time, so they would have a chance to prepare some answers, so that way no one's caught off guard, no one's in the hot seat. Like I explained beforehand, guys, there's no wrong answers. This is just your opinions. We want to know what you think. People want to hear what we have to say, so have that in mind when you're answering. So beginning off, we have our first question, and we kind of covered a little bit of it already. It says, without thinking about the past or the future, which is like current state right now, what is your opinion on the current state of Destiny? Begin. Who wants to go first?
Well, I'll go first.
Yeah, Rev, go ahead.
I think it's great. It's fun to play. It's lots of new content. In fact, so much new content. I honestly feel a little overwhelmed when Forsaken got dropped.
True.
And especially trying to do 3 characters. It was
Try hard.
I know what you're talking about. But it was a grind, and it brought me back to the good old days of Destiny 1. I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, totally. If you'll see in the podcast too when it's up, I actually used the picture from the most recent Thunderlord quest, the Cosmodrome wall. I actually used that because it was so like nostalgic going back there. But that's one of the questions later, so we'll cover that at a later time. But yeah, that's a picture there. You mentioned Destiny 1. It kind of all ties together, and I like that a lot.
I agree. I do too.
So Valco, Fiddler, what do you guys think? What is your opinion on the current state of Destiny right now?
I'd say right now, honestly, it is in a good place. Definitely some stuff that they need to, fix. Some, balancing issues here and there.
Totally.
But I mean, never touching D1. I can't. You never know. I can't really.
Yeah.
Say for that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's a ton of content. I have no clue how Rev can do 3 characters. I mean, there's still some weeks that I don't get on, and my Warlock's the only thing I can get through everything, and there's still maybe 1 or 2 things I never even touch.
Yeah, it definitely takes a special kind of Guardian to run 3, because I run 3 characters too, and you got to get into a certain groove. You got to have like your plans laid out before the week starts, because you got to really, you got to hit your milestones, and you got to like make sure you get through stuff. So yeah, it's tough.
But I mean, the amount of content's amazing, honestly. I mean, Gambit was probably one of the best additions they could have ever did to it.
Yeah, totally.
I mean,
that's why they keep giving the free weekends for that, because they know it's good. They're like, we know people will play this and they'll like it, so let's keep giving this for free a little bit here and there.
Exactly. Oh, it's bringing people back. I mean, that's all there is to it.
They just gave it away for free for.
I know. I'm a little
3
salty
weeks.
about that. I got to be honest. It's like I paid all this money for these games, and now they're giving it out for free.
Well, because they gave away just the base game and the 2 expansions, didn't they?
Nope, not the expansions, just the
So-
base game.
Just
Yeah.
the base game. That's I mean, for the
Yeah.
base game and the 2 expansions, it was like $80. So I mean,
Yeah.
you pretty much got a free $50 out of them. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. I don't even want to think about how much money.
At least,
I'm dropping.
yeah. At least in
That's-
Destiny 1, they'd only screw you once, right? At the very end, when everything came out, they give that legendary edition that was everything. Now it's like,
Oh, no, they
you know.
they screw you continuously. That RNG still gets you
Oh,
all the
it's true.
time, man.
Yeah,
I thought that's what Bungie does. That's kind of what they
Right.
do.
But
maybe.
that's
Yep,
what makes it
here we
fun,
are.
though. Is the grind,
Yeah.
I don't know. I like getting that perfect roll. That's my big old thing.
Yeah, I was
you
just
know,
gonna
playing
mention
for
that. What do you
hours.
guys think about random rolls?
I love it. Love it.
Yep.
Love it. Love it. So glad they brought that back.
Yeah, I got to be honest. Like during the whole drought, like when Curse of Osiris came out and Warmind was out, and everyone was hating the game, and there was all these LOL dead game memes and stuff on Reddit. They were like, "You need to do this and this and this," and they'd always mention random rolls. And I was like, well, I don't know, because I remember back in the day going to Banshee 44, wanting so badly to get a rocket launcher with tripod, tracking and tripod, so you can get three rockets in like a magazine, and using up all my motes, everything I could use. I was like always broke on Glimmer because I was always trying to re-roll my rocket launchers to get one with tracking and tripod, and it was like so annoying. So when people would say like, "Oh, we want to bring back random rolls," I always thought of that experience, and I was always like, "I don't know if everyone wants that back." But now that we have them back, I don't know. I think it's pretty fun. I still get like a lot of junk stuff that I just instantly delete because it's just no good. But yeah, I think it really makes it worth. Like you want to get that God roll trust, or you want to get the rocket launcher from Gambit. You want to get those things rolled with something really good like tracking or cluster bombs to take out Riven or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it makes it fun.
It's also
I
a game
agree.
changer for PvP too, for Iron Banner or
True.
Crucible, because you
Yeah.
want those high caliber rounds or something like that. So it gives you something to work towards, I guess, and kind of get your good loadout going.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one thing Bungie, if you're listening, because you know they're going to listen to this, they're going to listen to this podcast, all right? They're gonna. So Bungie, when you hear this, please get rid of field prep. It's the one perk that it gives you like
and
extra
crouching?
range if you crouch. It's like, who wants that? I don't know. Maybe for a sniper or something like that, but
No,
Especially
but
with
nothing-
tracking.
yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know about you guys, but that is like the most common roll I get. It's awful.
Oh, I mean, I
It
can't be
was
too
there
upset.
for a while.
Yeah.
That
So-
and Zen Moment comes up on a lot of things too.
Zen moment's not too bad. At least to me,
It's
that's
not
kind of
too
useful.
bad.
It's like, how many times do I find myself crouching to shoot a scout rifle
I
while I'm in
never
combat?
crouch and shoot anything.
Yeah.
You're just not a very
Anything.
tactical player. You have
That's
to
probably
really get
true.
tactical on this.
Yeah. It's like, well, these dregs are shorter than the rest of them, so I guess you get on their level.
You're right.
Take a knee here and just pop right there, headshot. So I got my field prep and Zen Moment scout rifle, and take some stuff out. Really clear out the raid. Yeah, I think random rolls are awesome. Now,
You know what I have
in the
noticed though?
past.
Like, it doesn't seem like everything's as balanced as far as drops though. Like, even though it's RNG, like,
Yeah.
as far as getting, like, I've still yet to get a single Gambit weapon drop. It's all been through.
Really?
Are you kidding me?
I've
Really?
only gotten one Bygones, and it's been the one from resetting Infamy rank
you don't
and
get
the
you don't
Trust.
yeah you don't get drops from ranking up.
Nope, I've gotten. I did get a good drop
Huh.
on the Bad Omens, but other than that, it's all armor.
Who did
I
you
still
piss
don't have
off?
I still don't have the auto rifle, the sniper, or the shotgun.
Really, I've gotten all of them several times.
I've got no. Yeah,
Nothing.
exactly.
See, I'm
So-
still waiting on the auto rifle too myself.
It's
so
not
I
that
feel
great.
the
Maybe
pain.
in PVE, but in
No,
using it in PvP or Gambit, I was not impressed. But I still have it, so it's I keep it.
The pulse is the best.
It is. That Bygones is amazing. If you can get one with like full auto or kill clip or something like that, Rampage even.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
that's just like the meta right now. Like I got I've been playing a lot of Iron Banner because it's double Valor right now, and I got to reset my rank. And I got the Iron Banner, the Pulse. I think it's called Claws of the Wolf, maybe. And it's like
Yes.
450 rounds per minute. It's really fast, but like that thing will just straight up kill somebody quickly. The time
Yeah,
to kill is
that's a
so
good
low
one.
on that. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that's the same thing with that Horus Lease. They're the same archetype.
Oh yeah.
And, I mean, if you get a range masterwork on that, or like a rangefinder perk, oh man, you're indestructible in the Crucible at the most part.
It's crazy.
Well, that's what's really cool too, though, is that you get the same archetypes across all content now. Instead of like, certain guns used to be locked into just the PVE content or just
Yeah.
PvP. So now you can kind of get something that's similar throughout the whole game, which is really nice. Because I'm not a huge PvP player, but
I'm usually
Like-
not, but when they have like double Valor, I like to get in there just for the drops. Speaking of that, here's a pro tip. Next week, this is November 16th today. Starting next week, they're going to do double infamy, and the week after it'll be triple infamy for Gambit. So if you're looking for those resets, that's the time to get in there. Double and then triple. That's a lot of points.
That is a lot of points.
That's a lot of cabal on the field right there.
Yeah.
In all honesty, it's always going to be scoring.
Yeah, man,
Yes, I
that's
hate
my least
Scorn.
favorite. The thing I don't like the
I
most
hate
about the Scorn is that big guy that shoots lightning. He's like an ogre, but he's not an ogre. He's like a
Yeah,
He
reskinned
just
ogre.
comes to and wrecks.
He'll melt you in like 2 or 3 shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either that or the Shriekers, too, for the Fallen are terrible. It's like, I
Oh,
hate
man,
those things.
Yeah, when did they change that to 1 shot?
So I was reading an article the other day.
Not the Shriekers,
It's not-
the guys with the cannon guys.
Oh,
what do
yeah.
they call them?
The Cyclops.
They're not actually one shots. A lot of people are realizing that catch up mechanic is extending now to your how squishy you are. So if you win if you win the first round, there's a good possibility you're going to get 1 shot now.
Oh, wow. That
I don't
sucks.
know. I think they might have tweaked it, and now
They're
everybody's
actually- yeah.
complaining again.
I posted a video on
But-
Discord earlier about the This Week at Bungie. They talked about some upcoming changes, like the catch-up mechanic. If you're on the losing team, you're not going to get as much help as you were before. You won't get as many
So let's-
stacks.
So let's talk about that if you
Okay.
guys don't mind, because that really upsets me.
Yeah.
Because
Trigger alert
Why
for all
should
the
you-
Guardians out there.
okay, here we go. Yeah, here we go. Salty alert. Rev's about to get salty. Well, no, honestly, so I'm not a good PvP player, but I don't like the fact that they give a team an advantage just because they're behind. That does not make sense to me. Get
Yeah,
good,
it's kind of
man.
crazy.
Get
No,
good.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of
I'm
weird.
not a good player, so I can be one of those players. I'm not good, but you know what? I got to get better if I'm going to keep up with those other players.
That's true.
And because of the catch-up stuff, I just don't like that. It's almost a guaranteed right now in Gambit. Whoever wins the first match, the next team's going to win the second match.
Yeah, I mean,
gonna-
I've
it's
had
gonna go
times
3
where
rounds.
I've had times where we even with randoms where we steamroll the other team, but it's more likely that you lose the second round and you'll win the
Exactly. Because of the catch-up stuff. I don't like it.
Unfortunately, like you were saying this week at Bundy, they did say they are going to balance it. I think that's what it needs. There has to be a catch-up mechanic because, in all honesty, Gambit does take forever to get a full match out if it goes 3 rounds.
third. Just true.
So if you get steamrolled the first round, a lot of people are going to leave. So by having that catch-up mechanic, even those bad teams have a chance of bringing it to game 3, and maybe they had a bad first game and they bring it back on game 3.
Honestly, that is a good point. I
Yeah,
didn't
well-
really think of
Well,
that.
the games
but-
that usually get rolled in are the ones where you're going up against like a 3 stack or a 4 stack,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's true.
because I mean, there's been
What-
times I can't really get on and I just jump on for a single game and we still just get rolled, but-
Yeah.
Get rolled. Well, and that's where Gambit's actually going now. It's basically if you want to play Gambit, you better have a 3 or 4 stack.
Yeah, I mean, I play a lot of Gambit, and not everyone's on. Like usually, I'll jump on before work, like for a game or two or something like that. And I've found like just as much luck with randoms, but then at the same time, like I've lost some of the worst games. Like some of my worst losses were with randoms also. Like I was playing a game just before we did this, and that was with randoms. And this one guy, he typed in the chat, he said, "What is my team doing right now?" And I put losing LOL, and we had a good laugh about it because we were getting so like they pulled a primeval, we had like 5 motes deposited, and it was ridiculous. And I don't know, I find myself like if I don't get a good healthy start at the beginning of the round, if I start doing bad, I could just I snowball and I do terrible the whole round, and you have to like wait for the next one to reset. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
Well, that catch-up mechanic is just giving you that little sense of false hope.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's like, man, I'm really good at this game, and you're like one-shotting
Yeah.
things.
But they have to do something to keep everybody interested too.
Yeah.
That's because
Yeah.
not everybody's rolling with clans or
Yeah.
or has that many online friends.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true. Yeah.
Well, we'll see, but you're right. What you said, Fiddler, was exactly right. It's kind of false hope because it's almost guaranteed whoever wins the first round is going to win the match.
Yeah, because then you win the
Because-
first, you probably lose second because of the catch-up, and then when it's even again, just like the first round,
Yeah.
you'll win the third. So yeah, that makes sense. So from this week at Bungie, just some of the notes they have here. For the Gambit bounties, this is going to be happening on November 27th, by the way. So when that's also when we should get like a Vidoc about the Black Armory. So they announced a few new things. November 27th, Gambit bounties, infamy rank point awards for all bounties have been doubled, which is great because those things are like 50 points. Like it doesn't really do much for you. Numerous dailies, daily challenges, and weeklies have had their objectives retuned to take less time and be easier to complete. A new bounty has been added to the daily rotation that requires Primeval Envoy kills, which is good because people sometimes don't know to kill those things for some reason. Infamy rewards. Subdivision rank ups now award Gambit legendary weapons or armor. Goodbye blues. So Fiddler, there you go. Wait till the 27th. You'll get more Gambit legendary weapons and armor. The Primeval catch-up mechanics. Teams that summon their Primeval second can only ever receive one catch-up stack of Primeval Slayer. Previously, the trailing team would receive multiple stacks depending on how far behind they were. For instance, if the leading team had 7 stacks of Primeval Slayer, when trailing team summoned, they would receive 4 stacks. Now they will receive only 1. So
I like that.
yeah, so now that you only get 1 stack, like that's the max you'll ever get if you're behind. So yeah, that's kind of cool. And for the Ascendant Primeval, the Meatball, it says, we identified another issue that was causing the Ascendant Primeval to not always award credit to the correct team when killed, and we fixed it. That'd be terrible, because I know I was with Valco when we finally saw that thing pop up. But you go for game after game after game, and then finally see it, and then to blow it up and kill it, and then the other team gets credit, or you don't even get credit at all, that'd be terrible. I would just
I
quit.
don't even talk about it. I don't want
That'd
to
be
talk
awful.
about it. I have never seen the Meatball.
Really? You haven't?
You haven't yet?
Ever
Come on,
seen
Rev. You
it.
gotta play
I
some
was
more,
like
man.
you though. I saw it my first time last week, and we finally ended up killing it. So, but it took me almost 3 weeks. I think it already went through a full curse week, and then that's the first reset out of the curse week. So that's what beginning
Yeah.
of the
I mean,
fourth
yeah.
week.
To be fair, I've only
took a
played
long
like 3
time.
times in the last 2 weeks, but I still.
There you go, Rev.
Oh yeah,
That's the problem solved. Root cause found right there.
Come on, 3 times isn't enough to see the Meatball.
hey, you know,
I
to
don't
get
know.
some of the other rewards, you actually have to turn it on too.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You have to
They
actually
don't just
press
give it
the
to you?
W. Yeah, you gotta actually click the mouse to do
What are you
that.
talking about?
We'll see though, because I know this is like the second time though that they said they fixed this issue, and everybody,
Yeah.
every time after the patch drops, you go to Reddit, somebody else has that, and at first you don't believe them, and then somebody
Yeah, it
throws a
starts
video
happening
up.
more and more. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody throws a video up, and you just watch it, and it's like, oh come on, how can you do that? Especially with the spotter rates being so low.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Bungie is really good about, or they're really bad, but they're really good at being bad in this way. Is they like to put things in the game and not tell anyone, and they only admit it when you catch them. So
Yeah, that
like
is true.
like the catch-up mechanics, they never told us that was in there. Like we just noticed, like, hey, what's going on? How is that possible? We like steamrolled these guys first round, and they beat us a second, or they almost beat us a second round. And then it starts like you just start paying attention and you see those mechanics happening. But yeah, so who knows? Like maybe we just don't know how bad the catch-up mechanic was, or the spawn rate. You know, that kind of reminds me of the Whisper mission where that's the Taken public event just wasn't coming up as often as it should have been, and people are complaining. They're like, "Oh, it's working just the way it's supposed to," and it's like, "Yeah, I don't know about that." And then all of a sudden they say they fixed it later. It's like it wasn't broken, right? But you never know with Bungie.
Yeah. The first time I did that mission, it took me like 2.5 hours of just waiting.
Yeah, I've heard people waiting
Just
longer, like
waiting.
7 hours, just waiting.
So
yeah,
that being
was-
said, though, I mean, what Destiny's been out for 3 or 5 years now,
Yeah.
with including Destiny 1.
Uh-huh.
That's what they've done all 5 years. So we
Yeah, I
should
mean that's
be-
just their business practice is to implement things and then just not tell us. Like when they nerfed
you know-
scout rifles, they didn't tell anyone. They just did it.
No, they're a lot
Yeah.
more responsive now with doing like the hot fixes and stuff now.
They are.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Oryx raid launched and they never fixed. Oryx will just spawn into the main wall there.
Yeah.
And that was never fixed ever, and that went on for like a year and a half.
Well, you still play
So-
Leviathan on the when you're in the what is it, the arena where you run? What's that one called?
Yeah.
The
Gauntlet.
Gauntlet. Yeah, whenever those guys, the Cabal spawn out of that back wall, they just glitch like crazy. That's just been the way it's been since day one. Like
Oh.
they just never smoothed it out or fixed it. It's just always the
Good
way
point,
it
good
is.
point.
Yeah. All right, guys, to keep things moving, because we can talk all day about random stuff that Bungie probably does wrong, but this is something that I'm interested to get your input on. The next question is about subclass or class. I don't know about you guys, but I made the right choice in life, and I made a hunter. I don't know about you guys, but I made good choices with my Destiny time. So the next question is, let me get to it here. Next question is, oh, I went too far. What is your go-to loadout right now? Which subclass, super, and weapons do you prefer to use the most? Let the arguments begin. Go.
Well, I'm definitely going. Well, I used to run all three. I came over from Xbox, but I'm running all three now, or just one now. So
Nice.
I went with the hunter though. It's definitely the PvP, PvE like perfect balance. I think.
You mean
So,
everything perfect balance is what you're saying?
I still like the Titan. That was definitely
That's
my
true,
go-to. So
I gotta go puke now, guys. Sorry.
We'll pause the recording while Rev goes to the bathroom to throw up.
Is that morning sickness?
Rev, you're glowing.
Well, I was saving that for the end of the cast, but
Oh yeah, cat's out of the bag now.
Uh-oh. But I'm loving the new supers. I don't know. It's kind of the one thing I don't like is how hard it is to unlock all of them, because without other people to play with, I probably would have never gotten them done.
That's true.
Especially the tier 3 wells, and then
with the seeds.
Yeah, the seeds.
Yeah, there's no way, and I didn't even know how to until Rev told me how to basically get the Oracle offering, and I got two of them.
Cool. Yeah, that was
Oracle
cool.
Offering, and then the tier 3 blind well. So
yeah,
I think they had to do that because it would have. I still would have been trying to get all my subclasses for all 3 characters.
Yeah, 'cause I think in the beginning, I just thought that was only in the raid. I was like, great, and I can't raid for like a month, so it's going to be a while. But then there was the tier 3 well, and then they had the offering of the Oracle, which gave you the seed, which was amazing because that helped me out big time.
Yeah, that's the only thing I don't like though, because if you don't have a regular group of people to play with or something, you are totally screwed on that one.
Yeah, that does kind of suck.
Agree. If you don't have a clan,
Yeah, because then even if you don't even know how to do encounter raid and you go in there, LFG is so toxic sometimes. So to
most of the time,
to really depend on an LFG site to get like the base part of the game unlocked is kind of crap, I think.
So real quick, I just want to do a real side note on this, just real quick. So, and this is mostly directed at you, Fiddler, because you and I both came from console.
Yep.
So LFG on console compared to PC, so much more toxic. PC is way better.
Because people just more grown-ups, I guess, maybe.
Well, I've yet to use
agree.
LFG on PC, so because luckily I knew you and I was able to get into a good clan right away with good people. But on console, sometimes like, my clan wasn't that active, and a lot of them were based on East Coast, and by the time they were like getting off, I could just barely get on. So it's like
I'm talking about squeakers too, man.
Oh, squeakers. See, I didn't really mind them because some of them were really like.
Some of them were great and good, but
they irritated you, but they knew what they were doing. You know what I mean? So it's like I can live with a little bit of irritation, but
they made me look bad, but it was all good.
Made me feel bad.
But
yeah, I gotta admit, I came up because I also came over from Xbox, so. And then they implemented that like dashboard LFG. I used that maybe 3 times, and it was the worst experience ever each time. So I would never.
You waited like an hour just to get.
Yeah, even just for a nightfall, even like quick run through a nightfall or whatever. It's kind of crap.
So Valco, what is your go-to loadout right now?
So that's what I think the magic of Year 2 Destiny is.
Mm-hmm.
I have no go-to at this point.
Man, you're just fluid, man. Like water, like Bruce Lee.
I mean, obviously, Warlock's the best class.
Oh, so wait, I'm going to interrupt you, Valco.
Well...
I remember when you were running 2 subs.
Yeah, let's talk about that. The double submachine gun strat that Valco pioneered.
All right, it's still valid. However,
it's still Rex. All right, by the way.
I just don't like the Year 2 SMGs as much as I did Year 1.
What do you think about that jump? I think their jump is the best too.
It definitely is. I mean,
best
we all know who gets the finish in the Whisper mission first.
Well,
do we need to talk about the egg in the raid last week?
All right, let's not talk about the egg last week.
Cut the tape. Cut the tape. Yeah, I do gotta admit though, when we're running Last Wish, I'm not sure if it's just your class. I don't know if it's because you're a warlock or what. But anytime you get picked by Riven to carry the heart, it's so hard for me to keep up with you, and I'm running. Like you're just like walking, and I'm like slow down, slow down, slow down. So I don't know. Like you're really quick.
So you do have to give me some crap whenever I do that. A little thing that most people know about warlocks is when you use burst glide, if you time it right and just kind of spam your space, kind of like Titan skating, you can warlock skate. So I get in this habit of I don't have a macro or anything set up, but I have the timing down on my space bar.
Nice.
That you hit your burst glide, it gives you that big quick momentum. You hit it again, that kills it, and then you just keep doing that over and over again. And that, unfortunately, that's why I outrun you guys a lot. So
man.
So and going back to the warlock jump, though, I'm gonna give Valco a ton of credit. I run all 3 characters. Warlock jump is my least favorite.
Yeah.
But Valco owns the warlock jump. He's good.
It's like if it's a precision jump, it's like jump to that ledge, right? Or like in the raid, whenever there's that tree branch, you have to go for that extra chest. I hate that because it's so hard for me to time it right. If I can, if I just need to jump to a ledge or a box, I can do that like no problem. But when it's like precision, where I have to like make sure I land on something precisely, I die like every time. So I just get frustrated and want to give up.
See, that's what I love about the Warlock jump. You have that glide, so you have a little bit of extra time to make sure you are getting on that precise spot.
Yeah, that's true. I just
That's-
need to work
There's
with that
no
more.
recovery on it too. If you overshoot it, you are so screwed because you just fall like a rock.
Oh yeah,
You know,
there's
you won't
nothing you can do
that's
but just drop. You're like, oh well, I'm done.
Yes, you do get a point there. But to get off the topic of jumps, like I said, I mean, the year 2 supers are amazing for the Warlock. I will say we get the best treatment probably of everything.
I think so.
I would agree with that.
Solar tree, they made us a true support, and I mean,
Oh yeah, it's awesome. That's good.
that's pretty much needed
Warlocks
in
are
Riven.
the most useful character right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
the
you guys
Nova.
already had a support too, because you had the healing grenade too before that, didn't you?
Nope,
On the-
healing-
That was
healing-
new.
Void?
Yeah.
Yep, that's new with the first aid.
Oh,
Well,
was
you
it?
could
Okay,
devour.
so
You could heal yourself, right? But you couldn't.
Yeah,
heal
we had
teammates.
Devour,
throw
so
it.
I mean, we had the super tanky build in Crucible, but
Yeah.
that was about it.
Yeah, but now with the new tree, they can throw the grenade and a
Yeah,
co-player
that's what I was
can
thinking
kick
of. See, I haven't even gotten on the other two, so I don't really know what all the trees are, the skill trees are, and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll say this. I mean, everybody always says that Hunter is the best in Crucible, but
Well,
you see more and more Nova Warp Warlocks. 'Cause,
yeah,
I
man.
mean,
If I get killed by
the
one more
ray-
handheld supernova, like whatever.
I mean, I had a team wipe the other day with one. I rounded a corner on I forget the map on Nessus, and they were all just chilling right around the corner, and it
Yeah.
took all of them out. Between that and the range of the Nova Warp, I mean, you kill people, and you're like, how did I do that?
That's how you know it's broken, Valco. That's what that's called.
Hey,
Nerf, I'm telling
That's
Bungie.
yeah, Bungie. When you hear this, please nerf the every single thing about the warlocks except the jump. Make it harder, please. Thank you.
Yes.
but,
That'll
I
work
mean,
perfect.
like I said, Warlock's good plays with subclasses. I mean, weapons anymore. I think that's what I love about year 2 though the most. There is no go-to. If you want to run double shotgun, you can. Double
That's true.
SMGs, you
Yeah, that's
can.
kind of cool.
Like
Yeah,
there
that
is
was a
no-
really good improvement on that one.
there's no god tier loadout that you can go with anymore. I mean, Iclos is still definitely reigning supreme in
Yep.
in your secondary shot
Yep.
slot, but I mean, there are stuff that you can throw in there if you're just messing around. But obviously, going max DPS, a lot of people are still using the Q in their kinetic and Iclos, and then, I mean, we have so many good choices for the power slot. It's not even funny anymore, especially
What do you-
now with
What do you think
Thunderlord.
about the new mod system, though, as far as the mods on weapons and how? Because to me, I think they're really hard to come by. Like I've only gotten a handful.
That's the truth. Yeah.
They are.
And that's a huge part of the loadout too. Backup mag, major spec, minor spec, boss spec.
I think they're more
You know,
useful.
so-
Like they're more useful now than they used to be, but they're also way harder to get.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I mean, and one that most people don't know about is counterbalance stock. I mean, you throw that on most pulses,
Yeah.
and you go from having an okay pulse to you do 2 bursts and they're all 6 shots are right on the head. Like
Yeah, that's true.
It's crazy. But yeah, they are super difficult to find. I still have a good surplus of mod components, but I just
Yeah.
don't think Banshee switches enough.
I agree with that 100% because that's what I did. I stocked up on mod components, but it seems like every 3 weeks it's back to the same old stuff he sells.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's just the variety's not really there.
Yeah, and unfortunately, one thing I wish they would have got rid of is, I mean, it was nice year 1, but the resilience mod, the recovery mod, the mobility
Yeah.
mods.
Yeah.
When there's a choice between me getting one more recovery versus counterbalance stock or a super mod, I'd much rather get a super mod over
Yeah.
I agree.
one more
I like the
recovery.
super mods.
Yeah.
One thing would be nice is if you could actually just buy them all. Like if they were based on rarity, like, hey, this mod's kind of junk. You could spend 3 components. This one's like a pretty high end mod. You're going to spend 15.
That's not
That
a
way-
bad idea.
That way you have something to like work towards. That way you can actually just go and get what you want.
Yeah,
It's
because then you
gonna
can
be
just
more-
save up, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a pain either way. Rather than relying on RNG to get what you want, just grind out for what you really want to, do with your loadout and build it that way. I think that'd be a
Yeah.
really good change in
I
there.
think that's a great idea, actually.
Bungie,
So I'll go
put that
next
into-
on that next
Yeah,
question.
go ahead, man. What's your go-to loadout right now?
Okay, so I got 2 loadouts I
Okay.
wrote down. So I got basically my playing with my clan loadout, and then I got my raid. So we'll go with just playing with everyone, whatever. So in Kinetic, we got Go Figure with Outlaw and Rampage.
Oh,
Love that
snap.
pulse.
Yeah, that's good.
But that has to be combined with my Nation of Beasts with Outlaw and Dragonfly.
No, that's a good one.
Oh, that's the curated role, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the curated role, yeah.
That's
and then
the one thing I'm still waiting for. That and the 1,000 Voices.
Yep. Here.
Same here.
so for like my raid weapons, it's the Midnight Coup, Kinetic,
Nice.
and of course the shotgun, Achilles.
Yeah.
Power. So I've got it. I have not played with it, but based on all the videos and the way it's looking, Thunderlord will probably
Dude,
be my go-to.
that thing is a menace right now. We'll save the discussion because that's one of the questions later. But like,
Okay.
if even in Crucible and Gambit, like you can tell that gun's out because everybody's using that. But yeah, we'll save this discussion for later on because that's one of the questions.
So
but yeah,
so I'll just skip that one. So the ones that I am using, Sleeper, and then my second one, which is tied with Sleeper at this moment, is 1,000 Voices. Don't hate.
don't at me, bro.
Mr. First Completion, get it?
Yeah.
No, it was only my third. Come on.
Oh,
was
yeah,
it?
sorry.
I thought it was the first one, my bad.
Woe is you. You've had such a rough life, Rev. So
Yeah, I have horrible luck with exotic drops. Just saying.
Yeah, sure.
So I can kind of go next for the go-to loadout. So as you all know, I use the Master Race, which is Hunters, right? So I main a Hunter because I'm smart, like Donald Trump. It's because I'm smart. Anyways, I use a Hunter, and like the thing I've been doing a lot lately is Gambit, and I'm loving to use my Malfeasance because I grinded for that thing. I'm gonna use it. Malfeasance is my primary. I'm using a Right Side of Wrong Pulse, and that one's got Outlaw and I think Kill Clip. And for heavy, I've been using a Crooked Fang. It's a linear fusion rifle. And the thing that sucks about that one right now, though, is I noticed that like people are using the Queenbreaker, they're using Sleeper and things like that, and it's like, man, I need to get something that counters that just as quickly. So the Crooked Fang is not as good, but it's still pretty good if you can get your shots. I put a target acquisition mod on it, and I swear that it made it worse. I don't know if that's the case because it's like, man, I'm getting shots with this because you can hit them if people jump. One thing I love in Gambit, if you're listening to this, I love it when I'm invading and you're on the opposite team and you jump, especially if you're Warlock, if you jump in the air for a long time because you give me all the time I need to shoot you and kill you. So please keep doing that if you're listening. So I was like, man, this is going to be my go-to gun because I like it. And I was actually excited about like waking up in the morning and saying, I got to go play with the Crooked Fang and use that in Gambit because it's so good. But then I was like, if I throw this target acquisition mod on it, I'm going to be like getting headshots like nothing. And I swear it made it worse. I don't know if it's a case of Bungie's like
it
more
might
is
just be that
less
it
or
auto
more.
snaps to like to the body, and you have to like recorrect it to headshots. You know what
And
I
the
mean?
thing that sucks about it is I
kinda
can't like take the mod off without scrapping that weapon. And I don't want to trade
Well,
it for
you
something
can't
else.
just put another mod. You just put another mod on it.
Yeah, I might
No,
just do
that gets rid of the mod though.
Yeah, but who cares?
yeah,
Ruin
yeah.
it. Gun.
It's 5,000 Glimmer, man. You just throw that
That's
away.
true.
Oh yeah, that's hard to come
I'm
by.
on a budget, guys. I don't know. I'm guarding the galaxy on a budget. All right. So that's my Gambit loadout right now. I use that. The Malfeasance is super good for blockers because you hit him with 5 shots and it just burns them, and it does extra damage gets taken. So why wouldn't you use that in Gambit? It's just really good. Like I can find that I don't need to use the Icalos as much because that kind of takes the place of that, and I can shoot him at range. I don't have to be really close. So
it also does what, like 60% more to invaders, doesn't it? Or when you're invading?
I think it's invaders, yeah, and it actually does. I mean, I find that it's not my favorite archetype of hand cannon because it's fast firing, so the impact isn't as good as something like Ace of Spades. But if you can get your shot, if you can land your shots, like it's just good because you hit them 5 times and they just burn a little bit and it just takes them out. But yeah, it's pretty good. So any other time I just use that. I like to use, like you said, Midnight Coup. A lot of times I'm using things like Midnight Coup. I use the Raid Scout that I got curated. The Raid auto rifle curated is really good. The one thing I'm still going after is the curated hand cannon. So Morgith, I'm coming for you this weekend probably. So give me my guns. But yeah, one thing I'll end with this. One thing I'm super salty about for the hunters is their supers. Like everyone else got really cool supers, I thought, and the hunter, like the Blade Barrage. You guys know that I was not happy about that before it came out, but I'm a believer now. I really like it now. But before it came out, I was like so critical of that because it looks so dumb. But
Butter knives.
yeah, the butter knives. But so that's good. The Spectral Blades is not that great. It's like it's pretty much Blade Dancer, but you're purple now, and you can go invisible, and it's pretty much the same thing. The one I don't like is the with the pole. I forgot what it's
The
called.
staff.
Yeah, the staff, because you
staff.
can block weapons. It's like, oh, we gave you a new super. You gave me the same exact super. It's just now I can spin it in a circle and block bullets. Like that's just kind of cheap to me, and I feel like we got cheated on that one. So, yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
definitely true on that one.
So
But it does come in super handy, like because you
See,
can
I've
get
never used
a
it.
lot more
Yeah, me neither.
kills in like Iron Banner or something like that. Because usually when you're just dodging, you're still just like a sitting duck for people to just lay into you, you know. So
Kinda,
it does
yeah.
come in pretty handy for PvP.
So I never got a chance. I didn't say what my favorite class was and whatnot.
All right, what you got?
Since I run all three, I'm gonna be super honest. I'm a Titan at heart,
Boo.
but I am gonna be honest about this whole situation. So warlocks are the most useful. They got 3 really good supers.
It's true.
They got all 3. I do like the Titan supers, especially Arc. That's so fun. That is a really fun super. I mean, you're Superman. You just bowl into
Yeah.
everyone. Their defender with and it's not even their super. It's the grenades and the melee with
Yeah.
that cantrick. That is awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm a hunter, like you said, you're a Titan at heart. I'm a hunter main, but the Titan with the Void class is so good.
Yeah.
Like with the
Yeah,
melee,
I
it puts that
love
bomb on them, and then you can throw the grenade, and it blows up so much stuff.
Yeah,
It's
you're a
just
mob
great.
destroyer.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just great. It just feels good.
But even that being said, and me being a Titan guy, so I'm going to say Warlock, the most useful. Titan's decently useful.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it, and I guess this is being recorded. This sucks. I really enjoy running the Hunter with the blades.
Oh, he's got it,
Especially-
folks. Mission accomplished. Shut it down. That's all we wanted.
All right. Yep.
Just because of
Chat's
that,
over.
and I'm going to say it just because of that exotic, and I forget it.
Yeah.
Shards of
Gauntlet.
Galanor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ever
that's
since
awesome.
I got that with the spectral blades, I'm like, wow, that's just awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So
Cool.
I was honest about it.
This time it's on. We got to record it so it'll live on
Yeah,
forever.
that's true. That's forever.
And
It's
you
not
know what?
just
And,
this time.
and in PvP, I got to say I'm gonna go with my Hunter as well.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome. All right, moving forward, guys. This is something that's interesting to me because I've been hearing it more and more lately. I think Dado said it, and a few other people are hinting at it. But get your opinion. A lot of content creators are saying that Destiny, right now, the current state, is in the best state that it has ever been, which includes better than any state in Destiny 1. So, Valco, I know you didn't play D1, but you've played enough of Destiny 2 to know if right now in Forsaken is the best it's ever been. So, what do you guys think about that?
Like you were saying, I didn't play D1,
Yeah.
but I can say, I mean, year 2 Destiny is like playing a whole different game than
It's
year
true.
1.
Yeah.
I mean, Time to Kill and Crucible is at a good place in my opinion. A lot of people at first didn't like the shorter time to kill. However, it adds that weapon variety that not everybody's using Vigilance Wing and
Mm-hmm.
Graviton Lance anymore.
Oh, yeah,
Actually,
I remember
I
that.
don't.
Yeah.
I don't think I've actually seen them at all this year.
No, not a lot.
With the exception of maybe the first week.
Yeah.
Like I said at first, there's so much content anymore. I mean, we'd just constantly be throwing. I mean, Festival of Lost, I probably didn't do half of what we were supposed to on that.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's still drawing me back in. Like Fallout 76 came out this week. I put a ton of hours in here, but I still find myself coming back here to this game,
Yeah.
which is now 2 years old, and still probably putting more hours into this than I did Fallout. So
Yeah,
I mean,
with one of the things about D1 is when it came out, it didn't really have a lot of really good direct competition. But like right now, like Bungie, they need to be on their game because like Red Dead came out, Fallout 76, Battlefield 5's coming out. Then you had Black Ops 4. A lot of really good games are coming out that are competing for like this time for players. So I think that's really made Bungie be more responsive, put better things in the game more quickly, have those double XP weekends that they never had before. Like, that's all new stuff. But I think it's good that there's competition this time around.
I agree. It's made them better.
Yeah. Keep on going. But yeah, I think Dado was saying that he feels right now, it was his opinion on, I forgot what it was, but he does these videos. I don't know if you've heard of him, Dado. He's kind of unknown on YouTube, but whatever. He's a small YouTuber. He was saying that he thinks that right now Forsaken is the best it's ever been, even better than Taken King, because before this, the Taken King was like the gold standard, right? That's what everyone compared it to. Even before Forsaken came out, they were like, "Oh, this is the Taken King style DLC, so we're gonna see if it lives up to the hype." And a lot of people are saying it does. I think it does.
I definitely think it does too.
Yeah.
What you can pay, $80 for pretty much endless content right now is pretty good, I would say.
Yeah.
And with the competition, I've never been a COD player or anything like that, so those games really never even get to me. But
yeah, same.
Yeah.
Even just being like a grindy kind of game, I still enjoy it. I think I put 1,500 hours into D1, so. And then I was still playing
Amateur.
it, no joke, right?
So when did you play? Like, you just played on the weekends only?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, just about an hour a night. But no, I think it's in a great spot now, But the only thing I think they should improve on is the variety of perks and things like that. I think that's something that gets old, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking for Outlaw Rampage or Kill Clip. And once
that's
you get
kind of
those,
true. There's not a lot of variety.
On to the next thing,
Yeah.
But as far as content, you could do it every week, and I think that's awesome. So
yeah, and I would agree too. I think it's, since in Destiny 2, definitely the best. I'm loving the game. It's fun to play again. I don't know if I would say better than D1, and that could be biased on my part because I just got so many great memories from D1. I played a lot of D1 with Fiddler, and we just had so much fun raiding, and just a lot of good memories. But if it's not as good as D1, it's right there. I mean, they're kind of neck and neck to me.
I think it's actually a little bit better. And I don't know. It's just my opinion, though, because around the Taken King is where, like, for me, I don't know about you guys, but for me, whenever the Taken King came out and the raid was there, you had to go fight Oryx and all that stuff. For me, a lot of that started the whole must-have Touch of Malice, must-have 36 clears, I'll check, must-have this, must-have that, or don't waste my time. It was so hard for me as a newer player that didn't have a lot of clan members to play with, or a lot of people I knew that played, to get into the raid, so I just quit. Like, that was when I stopped playing. And then it wasn't until Rise of Iron came out that I actually got back into the game and really liked it at that point. So,
but that's even here though, because I mean, unless you have a completion on Last Wish, you're still going to run into that toxic behavior.
Yeah,
it's just
maybe
people have this elitist attitude. Once they beat it once, all of a sudden they're the best player in the world.
Yeah, well, I am, so.
Kind of
No, I don't know if I agree with that. No, I'm just kidding. But so I agree with that. But I, honestly, since I got to PC, I don't think that toxic behavior is that much. And maybe I'm spoiled because, like you, Fiddler, I got into this awesome clan as soon as I switched to PC.
And that
kind of
that
spoiled
really
a little bit.
That helps, because honestly, even because I used to play with Rev all the time, and then when I had to find like a different clan in my own clan, like it's rough, like finding one that you can kind of mesh with, because
it's hard.
A lot of them are already super clicky. You know what I mean? So I mean, to get into one,
they know each other really well. It's hard to be the new guy.
Exactly. So I mean, I think that's a really cool part of Destiny, though, is that everything's built to play together. But at the same time, like if you don't really have a big social circle or a huge online circle as it is, it's pretty hard to get like accepted into a new group without kind of being the outsider. You know what I mean?
That makes sense. I guess kind of like Rev. Maybe I'm spoiled. I actually saw this the Man Clan I saw on the Discord for Rocket League, and I was playing a lot of Rocket League at the time. Destiny was really dry. This is before it came out on PC, so that was still on console at this time. They didn't really have a lot of people that played Destiny that much, but I was a hardcore Destiny player. There were a few others that were playing Destiny 1, and they're like, Destiny 2's coming out. I know when it first dropped, the Man Clan Discord had like its own like dedicated Destiny chat, Destiny channel, and all that stuff. There's a lot of people playing, and it was really big buzz. And so I kind of got in through the Rocket League thing, and then I noticed also, hey, there's a Destiny thing as well. And now I actually spend more time in the Destiny than I do Rocket League. So yeah, maybe I'm kind of spoiled like Rev. It's been good going the whole time.
Mhm.
Haven't been a free agent this whole time. All right, so
I
I'll
was gonna
skip.
say-
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say there at the beginning of the game. I mean, we were fighting for spots in raids
Yeah.
because
Yeah, we
there
were.
was just so many of us here.
We'd have like 2, sometimes 3 raids going one night.
Yeah, I
exactly.
remember that.
So, definitely,
times.
we kind of went downhill a little bit, but definitely
And that-
still a huge. I mean, I'm seeing a huge resurgence. You got a lot of people just starting that are. I mean, we ran Leviathan 4 times in the past 2 weeks now.
Yeah,
So
new
something
guys.
that we never would have did with the new guys. We want to teach them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, you know what's sad is what happened was as soon as the first DLC dropped on D2, it was so awful. A lot of our clan just dropped out and said, "I'm not
Yeah.
playing this game anymore."
Yeah,
and
they gave up.
I'll admit, I was even one of those, and took guns to twist my arm and
That's right.
threatened me a few times to get back into the game. So
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
All the dollars you spent, you're welcome.
So it was, and one of the things I've been noticing, like you said, Valco, a ton of new players just popping up and joining and stuff like that, which is really cool to me. So, more people to play with and whatnot.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so the next question I'm going to skip. It's about economy. We've kind of touched on it. Everyone knows that everyone knew that the Masterwork cores were hard to get. They're better now with Spider, which is great, and they're actually called enhancement cores. If you can't fix it, just change the name, I guess. So they're easier to get. I actually have like 31, which is shocking to me because I've never had more than 16 like in the entirety of like Destiny 2. Well, no, I've had more before, but when the new stuff came out, when they actually made it important, I didn't have a lot of those. So yeah, we know that Masterwork cores are working better now. They're enhancement cores. We know that the mod economy needs to change. Don't be so stingy on those things. We'd like to get more, please. Yeah, so kind of segueing off of what we just talked about, the next question is, if you could speak face-to-face with the developers and have one thing of your liking implemented into the game, what would it be? But you could only pick one thing.
All right, I'll go first real quick. This
first.
one's easy for me.
Oh, okay.
It's the thing that I enjoyed the most about Destiny 1 that I've enjoyed extremely.
Dude, don't say Sparrow Racing League. Please don't say Sparrow Racing League.
Oh, see, that you just ruined it.
Is that
No, I'm
it?
just kidding. No.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
Honestly, I haven't even done a Sparrow race because
Good.
the way I play, I grind really hard, get max level, get everything I want, and then I kind of start playing other games a little bit till some new content comes out. But anyway, so the thing I enjoyed about D1 the most, and the most recent thing they've improved on in D2 is the secret missions.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It's just some of the most funnest part. Fiddler, remember when we helped that kid who was grounded from his Xbox, middle of the night, to get the what was it? It's the Whisper now. What was it called back then? And D1?
The Black Hammer.
No, it was after Black Hammer.
Oh, the Spindle.
Black
Spindle.
Hammer, Spindle.
When
yeah.
that dropped that night, Fiddler and I, we had already gotten it. It wasn't that night, so it was a couple days later, but we had already gotten it, and we were on LFG, and some kid been grounded. He was up. It was like 2:00 at night, and we ran the mission a few times before we finally got it for him. And he was the happiest kid I've ever heard in my life. That was one of my fondest memories of Destiny. So
that's what it's about, man. Like I don't know about you guys, but I love helping like newer players or people that haven't done stuff yet. It's like, hey, you want to learn? Let's teach this guy. Like, let's help him out. And that's, to me, that's really good.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, it's just generating this community that are like, once we help those guys, I mean, I think I saw a band the other day was saying about helping other people through the Leviathan. After I chirped them through, I'm like, awesome. If you guys can start doing those raids by yourself, that frees up more time for myself. Not to be selfish, but
No,
But it's all
I
about
love
me.
it.
well, it's like that. Pass it on,
Yeah.
Do something nice for somebody else, and they pass it on to somebody else. So
All right, Valco. What would be the one thing that you want put in the game?
Oh, see, this is tough for me, and I don't think it's so much something that they could throw in the game. I just think it's a flaw in how they handle the game.
Yeah.
Uh, it goes back to why was there a D1? Why is there a D2? Why was it not just
A continuation.
Destiny?
Yeah.
Exactly, like World of Warcraft. I mean, obviously, they came up with something with World of Warcraft that they can charge you $60 every 2 years for an expansion.
Yeah.
plus monthly charges.
Plus monthly charges. I'm not saying Bungie, if you're listening, don't do that.
Yeah. Please.
Please.
Please no.
But the fact that I would love to go back and do Destiny 1 stuff, especially now that I get an Xbox One, but I don't want to. That's like starting all over again. And I've already dedicated, probably like 700 to 800 hours into Destiny 2. I don't want to go do the same thing in D1 with essentially dead content because, I mean, everybody always said about, throwing that stuff in the Infinite Forest and stuff like that. That may work for a little bit, but
That'll get stale too eventually.
Because unfortunately, I mean, we already heard the rumors of D3 being in development.
Yes, that's scary.
Exactly. So, and I mean, we haven't seen how Black Armory is going to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we're like this new annual pass type expansion.
Just know that I'm calling it now. Gallarhorn is going to come back. I'm calling it. Just remember.
With the current trend.
It's already rumored that Thorn and Last Word are coming back.
Oh, I was waiting for the Thorn.
Too, so.
I love the Thorn.
Was
I'm
it
not
the Thorn?
surprised,
I knew the Last Word. I didn't know Thorn was.
Yeah, I thought they were bringing back all of the hand cannons. So Hawk Moon, Thorn, and then Last Word.
What about Fatebringer? Are they bringing that back?
Perhaps.
It wasn't exotic.
Well,
No, it wasn't exotic.
Hawkmoon was an exotic. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
But yeah, in that case, like I said, that's the only thing I want them to change, rather than dealing. I mean, this is modern, developers versus Blizzard back in the day.
Yeah.
Coming up with World of Warcraft. Probably won't ever happen, but I just feel like rather than having this game that something happens, everybody's progress gets wiped.
Yeah, that's
just keep tossing. You can throw in those files to make the graphics a little bit better and all that.
It almost makes me wonder if they reset it on purpose just to make it for PC as well, because they had to remake it and start over.
It very well could be. I mean, I didn't even think about that.
Which wouldn't be a bad thing, because that means D3 would be delayed. It wouldn't be every 3 years, because so what kind of bothers me is once the game gets to its climax, gets really good, why start over?
Yeah, because my biggest complaint when Destiny 2 came out was when I went through the story missions, here's the problem with Destiny 2. You're hyped up for the release trailers and all that stuff. You're hyped up for it. You play the story missions. You're like, oh, these are so good, but that's it. It's so shallow. It's over so quickly, and then you're just stuck with the same boring, repetitive stuff in the beginning. My biggest complaint was we had Rise of Iron going on in Destiny 1. All that stuff was going on. Wrath of the Machine was my favorite raid and everything. Nobody asked, hey, could you guys make D2, please? No one was asking for that. They just did it. And they reset everything. And it was just no. For me, I was I never asked for Destiny 2. I would have liked, like Valco said, just add on more stuff to this. Why can't we just keep going with this same story? But yeah.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I would have been fine with D1. Okay. That being said, I would have been fine with D1 continuing on as long as it got put on a PC.
That's true too. Yeah.
But you know what's crazy though is you can stream your Xbox games to.
No,
PC.
that's not cool. That's not cool.
I did that a few times. I didn't like it very much.
But you know what I mean? Why? I think they should give the ability to cross-platform at that point. That's.
I agree. They should cross-platform, but when you stream like that, you're not getting the full, 144.
Yeah, there's some latency issues and stuff too.
Yeah. No, you're definitely not getting it. But I mean, if it's possible, because I would have loved to have taken my account. That's the one thing I really want to see. And well, I guess it doesn't really matter now because I already switched. But I think cross-platform would really boost the entire community as a whole. That'd be what I'd really want to see.
Yeah.
I agree.
It
Hey,
would.
by the way, on a side note, props to you, Fiddler, because that was an awful grind, I'm sure.
He's all burnt out now. He's 30, but it looks like he's 90. He's all old and decrepit from grinding.
Yeah, pretty much.
Twitches all the time. One eye's shut.
No, that was before I even played Destiny.
That's just how he looks. That's every day, so not a big deal.
I'm used to it.
All right, so for me, my one thing would be kind of what Valco said, just continuation of really cool stuff. Like one thing I really like about Forsaken is how they're doing the lore stuff. Like we do the Last Wish raid, and that actually changed the city and everything. It changed all the stuff there, and like now there's like the curse weeks, and it builds up every 3 weeks and it resets. Like that all plays in together, and like all the stories kind of play in together. They didn't really do that so much in D1, like not until later, but they're doing it more now, and I think that's great. Like let this be like a real world that I'm living in, you know, because we're playing in this semi, you know, quote unquote semi open world game where there's like zones we can go to, but we're just wandering around and we discover things. And like if it all makes sense and like it's just cohesive where it kind of flows together, that would make the game so much better. Like when you go to the Dreaming City and they're talking about the curse there, and there's all the what do they call those? The witches, the tech witches or whatever, like they're being taken and stuff, like all this stuff, like it makes sense and plays off each other, where it like makes you think there's an actual story here. Like in Destiny 1, it was all just like pieces. Like you go and like, oh, I gotta fight Crota now, and then it's like, oh, the House of Wolves are acting up, and then like it would just switch like constantly to like random stuff, and like would never talk about the other stuff. So I think if it played together, that'd be really good.
But wasn't
It
it
feels
kind of
more
confirmed that in D1 that they were chopping? So they were chopping content just to extend the life of the game, you know. So I mean, it kind of makes sense that that D1 was kind of choppy and
well, they had to
not
like
so put
this is the
together.
thing that sucks about like the Bungie cycle is D1 was done. They showed Activision or whoever it was, and they're like, we don't like it, so they had to reboot the whole thing before it shipped. So it was a huge mess. D2 was supposed to come out when Rise of Iron came out, but they didn't like the game, so guess what? They pushed it back till September, and they made Rise of Iron instead. Which my conspiracy theory, and Rev's heard this before, my conspiracy theory was that Rise of Iron was supposed to be an expansion for D2, which is why we have Siva there, and you know Nessus, Siva, all that stuff was supposed to go together, but you know whatever.
It would have been a great expansion too.
Yeah, it was really good. That would have been awesome. So maybe they had that finished, and they're like, well, let's just pull it forward, and they had to reboot a lot of stuff in the game, which is why, like, you talk to Lord Saladin, he doesn't remember you're a young wolf. He doesn't call you a Lord of Iron like you know you are, and you killed all these people and everything. You know, he doesn't know who you are anymore. Just kind of like, oh yeah, go like an Iron Lord. But it's like, yeah, we had this talk already, and I'm one of you guys now, but you don't remember that. So I don't know. It's like yeah.
Yeah, whatever happened to the characters that were in that new social space?
Yeah, they're just out there chilling right now.
Now that they're
Trying to
just
climb that mountain.
disappeared. Yeah.
Well, I think one of them is coming back, right, for the
Is it Shiro?
third expansion. Is it Shiro?
Shiro's
No,
the one
it's-
that was
isn't
the
it,
Exo Hunter, right?
Who's the one who's taking Cade's place? They're thinking is
Oh, I don't know.
he had a number at the end.
Yeah,
of
Shiro, was it Shiro 44?
Shiro. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's the guy that he was the hunter Exo that you would
Yeah.
talk to at the tower or the social space, the mountain.
He was
top.
like down towards the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He was a cool
Yeah, that's-
dude. I think he'd be cool to replace Cade. I'd vote for that.
that's good.
All right, guys, we're making it. It's an hour and 3 minutes in. We're on our last question. Everyone's still awake? I don't know. Valco might not be making it.
Barely.
No.
Not me.
All right, so the last question, we touched on it earlier. We recently went back to the Cosmodrome for a short time to finish up the Thunderlord quest. What are your thoughts on the quest overall?
I thought the quest was kind of refreshing. I thought it was pretty easy, but it was kind of refreshing because some of the quests in this game are super grindy and hard. So it was nice to have one where you could just get it for a casual player and feel really rewarded for doing it.
Well, I don't feel very rewarded when everyone's using it in Gambit and killing me repeatedly.
Yeah.
But you know,
See-
it's kind of a level playing field on that too, you know. So I mean, I like the quest. I mean, it's not like Luna's Howl or Redrix or anything like that, you know.
That's
It kind
true.
of rewards all the players just for being a part of the game, which I think every once in a while you need that because not everybody can finish those hardcore grindy quests.
That's true.
See, I'll agree with that. My thing is though, if you want to have something like that, don't make it like the Thunderlord that we've already seen is gonna be the go-to exotic for most of the stuff.
Yeah.
That and like Gunn said, everybody's using it. I still remember
Everybody.
when Whisper came out. I mean, me, Rev, and Rock stayed up to 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, just grinding
Nerds.
that out. And you went back the next day, and we're sitting there holding the Whisper, and everybody's like, "Holy crap, these guys have the Whisper already! Like it came
Yeah.
out 24 hours ago." And like everywhere you went, like people didn't know about it yet, so you'd have it on your back, and like you'd see in the tower, like everybody would just slowly come over to you and see, oh my god, what is this weapon?
Yeah, that was
Where
cool.
well, obviously this wasn't a secret quest, but now everybody has Thunderlord, and you see it outside, you're like, oh, another
Oh,
one.
he's using that one again. Like, yeah, it's annoying. Stop it.
So no, and I agree. I don't mind the easy quests, but don't make it a meta gun on the easy quest. So the Whisper was a top tier weapon. That's okay. That's going to be a weapon
Should
that
be
you're going
harder
to
to
use.
get, probably. Yeah.
I agree. The way the Thunderlord's looking, it's going to be a top tier weapon. It should be a harder quest in my opinion.
Yeah. So like the Thunderlord quest, like you would get that if you just pretty much showed up. Like even if you pull a Rev and you play 3 times in the last 2 weeks, like you're gonna get that gun because you just got to show up and like shoot stuff.
Yeah, I turned it on for freaking 30 minutes the other day and got the whole quest done.
Yeah. So that to me that feels more like a early like year 1 Destiny 2 type of quest. Because like that's how easy things used to be. Like you would just show up and get stuff, and you know they're kind of getting away from
Pretty
that
much.
now, which is
Like,
good.
yeah, they're basically giving it to everybody. Just like, here you go, you can have it. And I do like.
It's no different than what they did with the Galahorn and the end of D1 either. You know, they
That
gave
is
you a
true.
quest and you just had to do a quest. And that was like the most OP weapon they had.
But
They
it
had
wasn't
nerfed it at that
as
point,
OP as the original. It wasn't as OP.
No,
as
it
the
wasn't.
No, definitely not as the original one. But I mean, all you had to do was a simple quest line and you had it. You know.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's, I don't know. I guess maybe they have to make those little quests like that to give people, but I don't think they should make it the meta weapons. So if it's a weapon that's going to be used throughout the whole Destiny game, it should be a hard quest. Because to be honest with you, I not to be an elitist about it, but if you're gonna put in the work,
I don't know.
like Valco and I did
I
that one
feel
night.
an elitist just rant coming.
I feel like that's what an elitist would say, like to preface his argument. Go ahead.
I'm gonna claim the title. Then I'm gonna be an elitist about this, and I'm gonna say, if it's gonna be an awesome weapon, that's gonna be a meta weapon, then you're gonna need to put in the time to get it. And
that is true, though.
Like Valco said, that day after that we got that gun, the Whisper, that was awesome. That's like that's a good feeling, and you know, it's cool. That's one of the things I love about Destiny is like the 1,000 voices.
Oh,
you
you're
know,
gonna have to.
As soon as they see all those videos of people cheesing
Oh,
Riven with it and all the other raid bosses, I think they didn't really have it tuned in, and that it's going to be nerfed to where it's.
Oh,
not
It's insane. Like I'm getting shot. This is a heavy machine gun. Let me remind everyone of that. It's a heavy machine gun that I got like 2-shot from across the map with it, as if it was a sleeper simulant. And I'm sitting there in they're like, you know, invaders coming over, and I'm in my spawn zone, and I look to my left, and there's 2 shots that come my way, and he doesn't miss. 2 headshots, and I'm instantly dead. And it's like, yeah, they're gonna have to fix that because that's too much.
Well, yeah, I just saw a video of them taking it back to Leviathan. They one-plated Callus.
Yeah. I mean,
like
it's gonna be fun for a while, but you know it's gonna get fixed or patched.
Well, it's kind of like the
it's
what was
gonna
it, the Prometheus lens, when the Prometheus
Oh,
lens
yeah.
was like
Laser tag
stupid
weekend.
OP. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be one of those situations where they didn't realize how OP this thing was, and they're just going to pretty much nerf it to the ground to where it's like, well, it's decent.
Yeah.
It's
Because
definitely not.
there should never be one gun that you have to use, right? There should never be the one thing that's like, well, you got to use that. And there are guns that, like, you know, the Sleeper or even the Whisper, it like makes sense to use those, but you could still use other stuff.
Yeah. Well, see, and I think they learned
OP.
that from D1 though, because like Touch of Malice, if you didn't have that for King's Fall, good luck getting into a raid team.
That's true. Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
so I think they've learned their lesson on having the perfect loadout.
Well, even with the 1,000 voices, it's a great weapon, but it's not OP like that. I would
know,
even.
Rev.
It really isn't, I would even venture to say in some situations it's not even as good as a sleeper.
Maybe. Yeah, it's definitely like a situational thing.
It's
It's not as
it is.
versatile for sure.
No, it's not.
I was gonna say it doesn't flinch your enemy, correct? Or does
No,
it have a flinch?
doesn't.
No,
No,
but you just tag them with it and it drops them.
yeah. No, in PvP, it's freaking awesome because you don't even have to touch them. You just shoot next to them and it blow. You got to be careful. You could blow up yourself if you shoot like a little beam next to yourself.
Got to remember
See,
that when I get one.
And that's where the sleeper, is a little bit better because it does that stagger.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
on the vault.
If you get one, guns. If you get one. If you get one.
Yeah. We'll see. We might run a Last Wish this weekend, so fingers crossed.
I hope you guys do. It is a fun kind of weapon.
I just want to get it to have it. Yeah, to say I got it.
Well, and that's the kind of what I'm enjoying about it. Not necessarily that it's like OP. I kind of prefer a couple other weapons over it, but it's cool
That's
that
the one you throw on when you go to the tower. You just throw
you know it.
and just walk
I
around.
peacock that thing everywhere I go.
I'm not surprised. Not to sound elitist, but all right, guys. I think that's pretty much it. So let's go around the table here and give our last thoughts. What do you guys think? Last closing thoughts.
I really think Bungie turned their situation around, and they're doing a great job, and I hope they keep it up.
Nice, Valco.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I mean, like everybody, we've said a couple times, it's at the best state it is right now. With it being free, I mean, you drop, even new guys only have to drop $60 to get into what is year 2 Destiny. And I mean, it's a game that just keeps giving at this point. We'll see here in a month, see how the new annual pass expansion is going to work. I think this is a big, yes or no, or big tipping point here for Bungie. If it works, they are golden. They have the base game pretty much tweaked to where it works for everybody. If they can get the expansion that we are not relying on big Forsaken-like expansions, and these little ones are going to get us through, I think they're going to have a solid game on their hands.
Nice. Mr. Fiddler.
Yep. I would agree. I think Destiny's in a really good spot. I know the one thing that kind of worries me is when Activision's publishing things or Destiny's publishing things is not living up to the stakeholders. I guess it's not really holding up to their sales expectations, which I really hope they don't just pump out content just to appease the main developer. So I really hope they hold true to like the roots of what really makes Destiny a fun game and keep doing things like the Forsaken and releasing good quality content instead of pushing out more microtransactions or things just to boost sales. I think that would be a huge disappointment for me because I've been playing this game nonstop for 5 years now. So I would hate to see
me for turning you on to it.
Yeah. So I think they're going in the right direction with Forsaken, especially, but I would hate to see them take the road of just doing it for sales to appease somebody else. So
yeah, that's a risk. It's always something I think about too.
It's all about the money, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean they are at the end of the day they are a business. I get that they're a business and it's about making money, and they're publicly traded, or Activision is, right? So they are beholden to the shareholders. So I don't know,
Well, I mean, because that came out with the latest Call of Duty too. What they made like almost $1 billion in the first week, and they still didn't consider that good enough. So that's kind of
I don't know. I mean, I think it's just a weird time to be. It's a weird time to be a gamer right now, just because of the whole microtransaction thing. And it's like everyone looks at like Fortnite making like $1 billion a month or whatever. And
I'm
everyone
totally
wants
cool
that.
with microtransactions for vanity things. Like the Whisper skins.
Mm-hmm.
I think they look freaking awesome. I'm totally cool because it really doesn't affect the game. Like
Right.
I'm totally cool spending $5 because I think
Not
it looks
pay to
cool.
win.
Yeah, I think that's totally cool. But when they start doing, like actual microtransactions for gear or that like game changing boosts and things like that, I
Right.
think
That's too far.
go downhill. So
all right. So my closing thought is Bungie, keep doing what you're doing. You really turned it around. Trust me, I was one of your biggest critics. I didn't think you could do it. I didn't think you would you even care to do it, but you did it. I'm here playing again. I'm actually excited about Destiny again. So please keep making things like Forsaken. Make the world feel alive to me. Make it feel like it's an actual place I can go to, and everything works together, and people actually know each other there, and the NPCs make sense. One thing I don't want you to do, though, is we're hearing rumors about Destiny 3 right now. Please do not make me get rid of all my guns and then make me buy them back again, because it happened in D2. And if you do it again, I don't want to. I don't even know. I'm not sure.
Oh,
I'll take you to a nice dinner at the Vernon Steakhouse and then never call you again. All right, folks, that is it from us here. This is the Friendgame Season 1, Episode 1. Join us in the next one where we talk about who knows what. But thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Guardians out. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, copyright. Demonetize. Remove.